Shout out to the Saints. Tyler Shough and the Saints, 29-6. They improved. They get the third win in a row. The Saints are improved to 5-10, 3 wins in a row. The Saints could, and giving the Dome a Christmas present of handling up, man. Handling up in the Dome. That was the last regular season game in the Dome of the season. We got 2 more road games against Tennessee and Atlanta. So there you go on the play. So the defense showed up 7. It's just a lot to go over, man. Y'all stay tuned with us, man. We'll have the post-game press conference from Coach Kellen Moore, from Tyler Shough, a.k.a. the Shuckinator. We also have about another 10 people that'll be out there talking at the press conference. You're going to see all them people. Let's see, we had like 7 sacks that would equal about 7 to 9 people on the presser today. Yes, indeed. You're going to hear people talking their tail off today, and they deserve it. All right, big ups to the fan. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Hit the like button for a Saints win. We get the dub 29-6 over the Jets, man. And listen, it was a good game, man. It was a good game for the black and gold. It really was, man. Started a little slow offensively, but we punched down on them when we needed to. Here go the final stats here at the end of the game. Saints 23-12 on first down. They beat the Jets up in all these stats, right? First downs, rushing first down, 6-5 Saints. Saints were 8 of 17 on third down, very respectable. 1 or 2 on fourth down. Saints had 78-63 on total plays. Look at the yardage. The Saints 412 yards versus 195 yards by the Jets. 11-11 on drives, 5.3 yards per play. 2 rushes, first downs for the Saints. 328 passing yards by the Saints versus 138 by the no-fly Jets. The rushing attack was limited. They had all this. Something I was saying, fam, at halftime, the Jets could not run the ball. 20 attempts for 64 yards. That's 3.2 yards. Saints had 84 rush yards on 25 carries for 3.4. The red zone, Saints were 0-3 in the red zone. We got to fix that, but nonetheless, it was never threatening because you had the field goals being kicked. You had the defense locking down. So us not competing or not scoring in the red zone, the defense had the Saints back. Special teams had the Saints back, the back turns and offensively. Big win by the Saints, 3 straight. The Saints had 3 penalties in this game for 30 yards versus 7 for 54. They did not have a bunch of miscues and false starts. The Saints didn't have 1 false start, I want to say, in this game. That is big. So the discipline, you can see it improving. The Saints 31-18 time of possession versus 28-42. The Saints had a turnover as well to help out in this thing, but they did a lot of positive stuff for the Saints in terms of team. This was a 3-level win. All 3 aspects of the Saints team today showed up and showed out, right? And shout out to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill fumbled the ball on the first carry he had and then proceeded to make up for the rest of the game. Taysom not only did throw a touchdown at the end of the game to Chris Olave for 38 yards and complete his only play, but he also was the team's leading rusher, 12 carries for 42 yards. The Saints put it in his hand with issues with Devin Neal and being hurt and having, us not getting access, not being able to run correctly, but Taysom Hill was the top rusher as well. Tyler Shough, big win for the Saints. Look how Tyler Shough's numbers line up. He was 32 out of 49 for over 300 yards, 6.3 yard average, a touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. His rating was 89.5. Very respectable. He got beat up in this game, but Tyler Shough is learning. 2 scrambles for 8 yards in the mesh of things. Chris Olave, 10 catches, 148 yards. Chris Olave, this is probably one of his best games as a Saint. 10 catch game, $148. He averaged 15 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns. He was 10 of 16. 10 of 16, 10 out of 16 targets for $148, 2 touchdowns, and 15-yard average. Chris Olave having a monster year. Juwan Johnson, 8 out of 9 for 89 yards, 11.1. Taysom also had 4 catches for 36 yards. Mason had 4 for 29 out of 5 targets, so on and so forth. So the Saints really turned it up in this game. We know Taysom had the fumble. Chase Young also had some positive, but the Saints defense was special in this game, man. The Saints had 7 sacks in this game. Justin Reed, 9 total tackles in it. Very quiet 9 tackles by Justin Reed. He was just kind of, overshadowed by the Saints sacking everybody. DeMario had 8. Alante was big in this game. He had 7 tackles in the sack. Jonas had 6 in the pick. So Jonas Sanker had a pick as well. And Kool-Aid was 5. Stutzman had 5. Danny Stutzman was in there making plays. Pete Warner had 2 tackles. Stutzman was in there with 5 tackles, fam. So those 2025 rookies making an impact. Jonas Sanker, Danny Stutzman, and the like. Sacks by Alante, 2 by Cam Jordan, 1 by Nate Shepard. Chris Rump got a sack. Chase Young got a sack. Jonah Williams got a sack. Isaiah Stallberg got a sack. Big Hugh got a sack. New Orleans, Who Dat Nation, sacked the Jets. No fly zone in the dome. They go home. Anyway, like I said, man, beautiful day. Charlie Smyth got the 3-year deal, came in here and kicked 5 out of 6. It would have been 6 for 6 of that if he would have lined that 61-yarder up. But like I said, he had the distance, but just not the accuracy. If you give him another shot at that, he'll nail that sucker. 5 out of 6 for 83.3%. 17 points from your field goal kicker alone. The Saints only punted the ball 1 time for 46 yards in the game. 46 yards. The Jets, in contrast, had 5 punts for 200 and look at that. That's crazy work. The Jets had 5 punts for 231 yards. That's crazy work. The punter had 231 yards worth of punts in this game. And the quarterback, known as Brady Cook, who wasn't cooking up nothing but some sadness, he was 22 of 35 for $188, no touchdowns. He was picked off. And Breece Hall had 16 carries, 54 yards. Saints closed the door. He was trying to get 1,000 yards. He needed 100 yards to get 1,000. He ain't gonna get it today. Saints said, "No, sir, you're not doing anything," and they proceeded to literally just stop the Jets. And this game could have been a lot bigger blowout. Remember, there was a couple of plays where the Jets defenders were past interference. The referees missed it. But in the end, the Saints did what they were supposed to do because they're a much better team. They smashed down on the Jets. They get their 3rd straight win of the season. They improved to 5-10. They have 2 games left. And if the Saints keep playing like this, they're going to finish the season 7-10. That takes us the momentum into next season to be able to get back and challenge quickly. So, yeah, this was big, man. This was Merry Shucksmas. All right, so ain't nobody talking about OG, huh? Where you at, Tasha? You ain't going to get on OG for saying Merry Shucksmas? But I say the Shuckinator, and everybody got a problem with me. So Jerry can say Merry Shucksmas, huh? Where you at, Tasha? Where you at, Tasha? Tasha, making fun out of me for saying the Shuckinator took care of business today. But Jerry says Merry Shucksmas, you ain't got no smoke for Jerry. Oh, man. Great win by the Saints today, man. Saints on the winning streak, man. What can I tell y'all, man? This is good stuff here. Anyway, we're going to get ready to bring in Pops Q, man, and hear what Pops Q got to say about it, man. And this thing, y'all put it in the comment section how y'all feel about this, man. Yeah, it was L-Dub. It was like Oprah giving out sacks. You get a sack. 7 sacks by the Saints defenders today, man. Absolutely amazing. No, I'm sorry, 8 sacks. It was 8 sacks today. Alante, 2 by Cam, 1 by Nate Shepard, 1 by Chris Rump, 1 by Chase Young, 1 by Jonah Williams, 1 by Isaiah Stallberg. That's 8 sacks today. That's 8 sacks. I don't know what the record is. I think we had like a 10-sack game before. But regardless of how you look at it, the Saints defense is playing knockdown, drag-out football on the back of this season. And, you're going to need that going into Tennessee. They really handle up on the Kansas City Chiefs without all their people. But still in all, that's our next matchup. So the defense, man, if we can run the ball and play defense, listen here, we got something good. All right, shout outs for y'all. Y'all hit the like button for a Saints win. Hit the like button, man. Gonna bring in Pops Q, man, and get his word on the game. Pops, welcome on in, man. What are your thoughts at a good game by the Saints? What you think?
That jet, they got to put some gas in that jet. That jet going back home with nothing in it. The Saints played another outstanding game, and Shough Tyler was just outstanding today. I tell you what, he very seldom missed. He threw the ball, and he threw the ball where he wanted to. They were trying to play man-on-man defense to stop the game, to catch it, but they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop Shough. He was doing fantastic. They didn't have much of a running game. Now, once they can get him a running game, oh man, we'll have something. But I'm glad. Look, man, like I say, they should have won this game. Said it last week. They had to win this game, and they did.
Right. It was one of the situations, man, when you take a look at what the Saints are doing, man. And we talked about it the previous matchup, Pops. We talked about if the Saints defense, because we know the special teams are responding well. We know the Saints defense is handling business at a high level. I know sooner or later you got to look at the offense and say, okay, we need the offense to earn its money. Well, you're seeing on the back end of the game, the Saints making the adjustments, but also kind of talk at the three levels, man, about the offense. Thoughts on offense, defense, and special teams, Pops. What do you, let's line that up and give it a grade. Offense, defense, special teams. Y'all put it in the chat. Kind of line that thing up. Offense, defense, special teams. What are y'all grades on that? What do you think about them as a collective?
I give the offense a B today. They didn't have many penalties to slow them down. They executed superbly. I give them a B. The special teams, I give them a B. And the defense, they have to get an A. They had 8 sacks. They forced 8 sacks, and they kept New York out of the end zone the whole game. All he was able to manage was 2 field goals. Even after they turned the ball over to New York, they stopped them, and they had to kick. They end up having to kick field goals, and the defense just turned up the heat. So this was a really, really very, very high quality game for the New Orleans Saints. And it gave the people something to be proud of. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the play of the game. I didn't really, be honest with you, I didn't think the young quarterback for the Jets had any chance of beating the Saints because he's just a rookie. So, he's not on the level as Shough is right now. But Shough is one, he's got some wins under his belt. I think this young kid only started his first or second game for the Jets. So he took some bumps and bruises today. 8 sacks. They put him down 8 times. And that's what good defensive players and defense and good football teams do. I think the coach got them on the right track. He got them, and they looking. And once they finish the season, I have a feeling they're going to win next week as well. The Falcons might give them some trouble because the Falcons is more of a complete team out of these remaining 2 than the New York Jets are. Much more complete team. But next week, I'm looking forward to them playing against the Titans and beating the Titans at home. On their field.
Right. It's definitely something that's going to happen, man, because the truth of the matter is the way they're playing and Kellen Moore's sell job in terms of, okay, listen, we do this right, we got an opportunity to win some games and handle some business. And he sold it to the team. And the thing is, the team is buying into it right now. The team is buying everything that he's selling because they're winning.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the Tyler Shough situation is very interesting because Tyler is gaining more and more respect as you move forward. You can see he has a better feel for the offense. And then the crazy part is the offensive line. Like, we got a makeshift line. We got Will Sherman playing right guard because Cesar is out. You got Dylan Radunz at left guard. He's been pretty much filling in and out of that position with him and Penning, co-starting with him for much of the season anyway. Luke Fortner, we traded Colin Binks Saunders, who was on the sideline playing for the Jets. We traded him to the Jags for Fortner, the backup center, and Fortner has become a very solid player for the Saints. So I think we won that trade because we traded Bink there. The Jaguars got rid of him. And he only sitting up there stinking up the Jets sideline. So we win that battle there. But on the outside, I got to give the credit with good, solid win overall. We just wait for our offense to get involved, and they did adjust and do that in the back end of the game. And I got nothing but credit for them. 3 straight, Pops. 3 straight wins for the Saints.
That's right. 3 straight wins. And then both of them against the first, 2 of them was against division opponents. And then so that and then I wanted to find out, son, how did Tampa do in Carolina?
Oh, that's right now Carolina is leading that thing, Pops. I mean, they got an interception, and Carolina's up with less than 60 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay does have the ball on Carolina's 37-yard line, so it's going to come down to either a touchdown or a field goal. So right now, Carolina's up 23-20 on Tampa Bay with less than 60 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And like I said, Tampa has the ball on Carolina 37. So we're going to see what's happening right there, man, is they got to duel it out. So that's where it is.
Yep. Yeah, and they, like I said, man, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed watching it, and just the way this they're playing, they're upbeat. Because they're winning, they're getting victories. They're upbeat. They're playing the defense, the offense playing good, defense getting interception. All this what should have been happening along through the season is now all of a sudden coming to fruition. What Coach Moore had been teaching them. They finally started to execute his system, and look at the results.
Yeah. Possibly actually this, man. I'm not going to try to be too petty because we like I said, it was a no-fly zone in the dome for the Jets. But you thinking Aaron Glenn having a little a little moment where he's saying, "Man, I think I might have made the wrong decision." Because remember, it was the Saints wanting Glenn at first, and he picking the Jets over the Saints. Then we pivot to Kellen. So you thinking Aaron Glenn right now having a little moment right now? Because I'm gonna tell you something, Pops. Aaron Glenn, that's not a 1-year turnaround. He has to go out and get a quarterback. He done traded some of his most important pieces, out. So whatever they're doing is a complete and thorough rebuild. The Jets, the New York Jets people are not a patient lot. So in the end, I think Aaron Glenn made a boo-boo by taking his ass up there to the Jets. I hope he got a bunch of guaranteed money.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, if he don't turn that situation around up there, and I'm talking about soon, he's going to be on the outside looking in, and it may not even make the mid-season next week. He may be gone.
Yeah, true talk, Pops. It's going to be interesting, man. Shout out to the fam. Y'all hit the like button, man. We'll have the press conference on momentarily. Black Preacher Man says Pops be coming up with some quotes. I see where you get them from. You.
Thank you very much. Taking me back to this world.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. Appreciate that, man. They be getting on me, Pops, because I be coming up with some stuff. Yeah. And I call it the Shuckinator, and Tasha made fun of me on there. But y'all know what the Shuckinator is. The Shuckinator is what's going on right now. He 3-10 up the last few teams we played. And like I said, it should have been 4 games. Because we actually beat the Dolphins. Chris Olave dropped that touchdown ball. That'd have been 4 straight right there. Yeah. So they've been playing well enough to win. We just been getting our own way. We're not doing that anymore. No, we're not getting in our own way no more. So we've learned how to play discipline without turning the ball over, this sort of thing. Let's talk about that, Pops. Talk about the fact the Saints had, didn't have all these penalties and miscues that usually prevent them from doing stuff. They didn't have all these crazy things, but no, Taysom had to turn over. What do you think about the Saints, how they kept the penalties down and was able to eventually, as a team, able to encapsulate and win the game?
Well, I think one of the main reasons that the coaching staff has impressed upon them is to get rid of the silly penalties, false starts and jumping off sides and all these they've reduced that to a minimum in the last couple of games. There was one last game. I don't think there were any this game, maybe 1 or 2, but I don't remember seeing any time when they actually, actually what they caused a problem for the offense. I mean, they had the turnover, and that's how New York was able to get that 3 points, the first 3 points. They were 3 and out. But see, the thing is, right now the young quarterback is in rhythm, and if we can keep him in rhythm like that.
Yeah, just phenomenal. The shout-outs took a while.
Hold on just a second.
There's a bunch of guys making
plays.
Hold your thought.
We're going to hear from Kelly. We'll get back to you.
I thought it was just credit to our guys, just the relentless effort, the finish, the way they're playing together. Those sacks, there's coverage associated with that, the way our guys are covering on the back end. And guys just took advantage of opportunities. It was really cool to see. I don't know. I'll have to tally them up later because, it was a healthy list. Yeah, it was a big part of our whole entire week, starting on Wednesday. Last opportunity at the Dome for this year. Let's finish it off the right way. This has been an awesome place. We're building something really special. When we play in this Dome, special things can happen, and I think we've allowed the last couple of wins to really get the crowd into it, which I think has helped, and build from there. Yeah, I think it's just the focus, the habits guys are creating. I think we're just simply playing better football. All 3 phases. We talked about complementary football. All 3 phases working together, playing off each other, feeding off each other's big moments. And again, I love the energy that's in that locker right now. Yeah, I thought it was great. Taysom stepped up and contributed in a really positive way. I mean, that was just a really special game by Taysom. All the things that he was asked to do in this game was just it was incredible for him to become the first guy in NFL Super Bowl era. He's got 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving, 1,000 passing. First guy in the Super Bowl era to do that. I mean, it's a really special thing. It's he's just a special guy. And then the young guys hopped in there, and when their opportunities present themselves, I thought we're still able to get a few runs in there. It wasn't always pretty. It was dirty. And then the pass game, obviously, we were able to create some explosives as a result of that.
Were you guys trying to get him that touchdown?
The opportunities were certainly going his way towards the end of the game, yes.
One like this, that's not close in the last couple of minutes. What did this one mean, do you think, for the team and for just the level of confidence in that line?
Yeah, I think it's just the confidence is growing. We're creating habits. We're creating meaningful December football. We want to play that, moving forward. And so we're starting those habits right now. Again, like we've said, winning is contagious. You want to create those winning habits. Starts every opportunity you have. And so it's really cool to see our guys doing this. Haven't thought about that. I think our guys, again, we're just playing some better football down the stretch. We just got to keep building on that. We still got a couple more opportunities, and we just got to keep growing. Yeah, just awesome. Relentless. 2 sacks, around the ball a ton, making plays a ton. It's just a really special day. We talked about it. We felt like the fake punt felt pretty clean. Felt confident about that. It was discussed. We kind of talked through it. Yeah, it's good. We got to finish some drives. We got to score some more touchdowns in those situations. I thought teams-wise, Charlie did an excellent job. Again, kicking the football, made some big plays in special teams. That was going to be a really hard challenge for us. I mean, they're basically number 1 in the NFL in special teams, and with good reason. They're really, really talented there. And our defense was just relentless, And so I love the way all 3 phases were working together, and just continue to compete for 4 quarters.
Taysom, we don't know their futures. Their last name. Just for them to have those type of performances without
those guys are the best. They've done this for a really long time in this league, and they are the ultimate lead by example guys. And for them, for the effort that they put into this season, the continuous work, all these young guys get to look up to guys like Cam, like Taysom, and the way they prepare, and it's really, really special. And so you even watch it on the field at the end of the day, these guys are playing really good football right now. And so, I'm really excited about those guys.
Color, elevating the offense, a lot of guys.
Yeah, Yeah, really good job. Playing quarterback in this league's, there's a lot of downs, there's a lot of opportunities, and for him to just handle that and stay steady through the whole process, I thought he did an excellent job today. Yeah, I think just the way the game was flowing. Certainly, you always would love to run the football a little bit more. Just felt like, from a pass game perspective, it was a little bit cleaner for us, a little more efficient. And again, that's credit to those guys. Tyler executing at a really high level. Yeah, those guys, we'll just see what happens. Brizzy was a knee. We'll see tomorrow. Foster's with kind of the ankle on the hip drop thing. So he kind of got caught there, and so we'll see how that goes.
Just with Charlie, he was signaling one more.
Yeah, Charlie's awesome. He's playing really good football, and our team's rallying behind him, and so he's got a bright future. Yeah, I think the threat Taysom running it. Obviously, we kind of went into it with the play with an ability for him to either run it or if the look presented itself to throw it. And so, we're trying to get a first down there and obviously turned into a touchdown.
You talked about how special that was those milestones. I know we talked about it before, but how unique players.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this league talks about trying to get Taysom Hills on your football team. There's a role, and everyone's chasing it, and no one seems to be able to duplicate it. And so, because of his ability to play in every phase of an offense, contribute on special teams as well. The things that he can do from a capacity of having to handle all these different looks and structures and fundamentals that you got to play all these positions at. It's just really, really special. And he's an A-plus person, A-plus human being, A-plus player. And so, I think all these young guys especially can learn a lot from him as they go through the rest of this year. All right. Thanks, guys.
Shout out to Cam.
How's everybody today? Good, lovely. I came in wearing a suit, but I said this would be a little bit more, casual. I'm going to put my suit on when I start walking out to see the film. We got a lot of family here. Sister flew in from Germany. Brother came down from Arizona. Dad, I'm not sure where he flies in, flies out. I don't know. I'd never have a tab on him. But I got like 8 boys from Cal that came through. Wish could have had Tosh Lupoy out there. Shout out to him getting a new head coach spot at Cal. Went into this game knowing that this was one of those games we could take advantage of in defense. And I love that it was sack party. I said 7 sacks. Apparently we had 8. From Jonah Williams to Nathan Shepard to Chris Rumpf, Chase Young, Alante Taylor, Isaiah Stallberg, and myself. Is that 8? Hopefully that's 8. Am I missing somebody? I said Chase Young. Did I not say Chase Young? Obviously, that was a strip sack right there. I think defense, again, just took advantage where he could. I almost thought Alante was going to take one to the crib at the very end of the game. He jumped a route so perfectly and didn't come out his way. But Kool-Aid McKinstry also had an interception. Just a great defensive outing. Jonas Sanker interception. Yes? Yes. I said Kool-Aid. It's Jonas. Yeah, my bad. Touche. Absolutely. Just like they did last year. When you're getting towards your elder statesmanship, you never know if you're going to come back or not or whatever that may be. I've never not had guaranteed money in contracts, and I've never not had a contract. But now we're leaning on not having a contract, so you can't have guaranteed money with that contract. It's a same simple conundrum. As you get older, you just sort of start looking around and seeing where you're at. And I'm just overly blessed to be a part of a defense where we have such an influx of young guys playing at such a high level, like Jonas, like Danny Stutz. You got guys like Tali S.A. Fuaga and Kelvin Banks. There's so many. Our team has such a great core of veteran leadership, as with Demario Davis, myself, and such a great core of young guys who are headed towards leadership. When you talk about Alante Taylor, when you talk about everybody on offense, when you talk about you insert Tyler Shough the way he's played this last couple games, it's exciting because you're like, man, I see such a future, and I want to be a part of everything about it. And now I'm in that limbo of, are you sending me a new contract or no? But I just take every game for what it is. So I'm overly blessed and honored to have the opportunity to be presented to, affect the game as I can. I have no idea. It was a lot of us though. We were, yeah. I think I did last year. This year, everybody texts me. Last year, I was texting everybody. You know, I said, "Hey, man, you know the way I'm almost body slammed the coach." I said, "Guys, it might be headed towards the way." And then now I'm just like, everybody was like, we're just trying to partake. Manager Rebecca Otto, who's been with me since the beginning, with Doug Henderson, showed up, and I said, "Oh, dang." I said, "Okay." I've got best friends that I've had since college show up, and I said, "All right." A cousin from Arizona come through. I say, "All right, we're gonna make this a party." So we gonna hit the streets tonight. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, no doubt. That was my wife for sure. I came out there with the family. My Nikki Jordan, of course, has all the big heads. I said, "Wait, we came together. How did I miss this?" We drove in the same car. Great job. And then, we just went from there. So love that. Love that it was against the Jets. I didn't know I hadn't sacked the Jets before. I guess they haven't been on my list. In the AFC, I don't really care. There's one team I hate, and there's two other teams in our division. And other than that, the league is the league. How many what? How many sideline passes I bug you for? 20, yeah, and there were still about 10 or 15 people up in the suite still, so we're deep. Yeah, absolutely. They're upset. Oh, I didn't get. I said, "Hey, bro, I have not bothered anybody all year because I knew Cardinals game was going to be deep, Jets game was going to be deep. After that, everything in between, I've tried not to burden anybody. I taxed them today." Is it aging backers or just taking advantage of opportunities presented? I mean, you take it back to 23. I tore a couple ligaments in the leg, went to a straight run mode, which capped my season probably like week 11 or whatever it was. So it finished with two sacks, 2.5 sacks, whatever it was. It was something, not the huge twos. The next year, sort of got buried, and once I saw light back on the edge, because apparently I'm not a nose tackle. Did you know that? I'm not a nose tackle? It's crazy. I've mentioned it a few times over my, 17 games of incarceration. That's not the right word, purgatory. And then, this year back on the edge, you could have some fun. You stop the run, have some fun. That's been the name of the game, and, take advantage of every opportunity presented. It's nice to add on some multi-sack games. Contender. I don't know. I've never seen myself not being in black and gold. So again, I think I've stated, which since Sean Payton and Mickey, called me at draft night, I said, "All right, let's do this." And when I say let's do it, I mean do it together. So 15 years later, I still say let's do this. I see a bright future with all the guys that we have. We have such a talented young core. We have such talented veterans. We have a combination, and I'm mad that it took us this long to find some success, because once you find some success, you understand how to win. And for a while we were in a drought, we were trying to figure out why we weren't winning. You eliminate some penalties, you get back some of those third downs, you're looking at a completely different season. When you have 6 or 7 games that were all within one score situation and we don't come out on the other side of that, that doesn't help you build confidence. But when you have these games that you can start building on, hey, it's a shootout. Hey, we need a defensive stop. Hey, Tyler Shough has to go lead the offense down. CO makes amazing catches. That's where you see it all pay off. And when you build that confidence, then you can roll in with confidence. It's like you get a lead and never give it back. I think that's sort of our thing. How much fun is winning compared to losing? And I'm not going to lie to you, it's night and day. Winning for some reason feels better. The drinks, lemonade and or whatever you like to drink goes down smoother. The kids get happier. They're always happy to see you, but now you're happy to see them. I've got a 10-year-old. So he's like, "Dad, you guys lost," and I'm like, "Damn, that hurts." And he's like, "Dad, we won. We're the best." Yes, we are today, and we have to continue fighting for next week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should probably have more strip sacks. We've got to, we only had 1 strip sack out of there. We got to focus on getting the ball over more. The more we can give the ball to our offense, the better off the offense can orchestrate more touchdowns. I think we took a touchdown away from Taysom Hill. He had a passing and a receiving touchdown. So now he just has a passing. You know, if we gave ball back a couple more times, maybe he gets that back.
Any worry it's going to be stat corrected?
Stat corrected from what? Yeah, I'll let you guys. Yeah, I'll let you guys figure that part out. I know I'm gonna keep hunting. What's mine will be mine. And if you say otherwise, I don't know. We'll get you some corrective vision. I don't know. Yeah. Again, it's not a bonus. It's more just recouping what I've already. You know. Yeah. It's a recuperation. It's not a incentivized. Hey, I didn't see it coming. It goes, no, I need that back.
You said you're in limbo. I mean, how uncertain do you think it is you wouldn't be back?
Sir, I've always had a contract. About 2 years out from contract being done, I think I've always signed a new extension. This is the first time where I just don't know. It's not on me, right? Can I create my own contract? Jonas, can you write your own contract? I don't think so. So again, like I can only put my best foot forward. I can only love on my teammates and appreciate my teammates as much as I can. I appreciate each and every practice I've been a part of and go as hard as I can when I'm able to. And the rest takes care of itself, as it always has. Again, I've always wanted to be here. Unless you don't want me, then I got to go back to the West Coast. I'm focused on us finishing these last couple games. Has my agent and Mikey talked? I hope so. I don't know. I'm focused on. Yep. I'm focused on Christmas with my kids. Hey, I didn't say anything. I'm all about Jesus today, brother. Yeah. God is love. And indeed, his birthday coming up. Did you bring a manger? Oh, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Love it. Sorry. I'm done. I'm going to let my teammates talk. You guys have a blessed one. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
All right. Shout out to Cam. Big ups to Marvin Mackey. Q, man, I thought we was going to hit a cleanup, man, all year long, but we turned it around. I'm excited. Shout out to you. Here's Jonas Sanker.
Established veteran like that up here talking about you and the young core of this defense. Just what does it mean to you to be able to go out there and help to make plays?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Just hearing guys like Cam talk, you kind of got to really listen to hear the good, because some of it is just him joking around. But it's great to have somebody like that. Constantly building guys up, and he's been that guy that we've expected him to be every day. So it's awesome to see guys like him, DeMario, just being able to have that consistency and just commitment to the team, even at year 15. So.
You got the interception on the breakdown here. It looked like there were a couple that you might earlier in the game that you might have been looking for that kind of look for throughout. Is that something you were hunting for throughout the game? Yeah, no, we're definitely looking for that, and just really emphasizing playing off the quarterback eyes. It's funny because literally that before we went out that possession, our coach is talking about, when they go 3-by-1, Coach Staley talking about, when they go 3-by-1, be ready to cut that special. Sure enough, that's the play we got. So I was ready for it. So, they've done a really good job, helping me be prepared, just pushing me to, take this season with a grain of salt and just try to constantly get better every week, not get too caught up on the ups and downs, and just find ways to constantly be improving.
Obviously, this season got off to such a tough start. What does it meant to you to be a part of this? That's kind of something. No. I'm a big believer, in what we have, and I think we're doing things the right way, and I really trust the establishment and just what we're trying to do, and like I kind of said in the question before, just keep improving, focus on what I can control. And just understand, we got a lot of other hungry guys who are having that same mentality. So, I'm really excited to see what we can do in the future.
Talk about the communication conversation with coaches on the sideline before that drive. What has this defense done to set you up for success?
Just allow me to use, my range, and just allow me to, play free. I think they've done a good job of just. I think that the toughest adjustment for me was just, understanding how to use my strengths, within the scheme, and just kind of get really comfortable in that setting. But I think the repetition and just the trust has gone a really long way, and just, ultimately helped me to feel more comfortable and just helped me to play free out there.
Is there a moment last year where you feel like that really settled in for you?
I don't know if there was a particular moment, but I think just the coaches kind of having that same approach, whether, I have the best game of my life or, I have a game where I really struggle, just that same, approach of, okay, here are the little things we can clean up on. Here's some, some bright spots. And there was never, any unwavering, he made this mistake, he can't do it. Or, oh, he just made this play, he's going to be the best player ever. It was kind of that consistency, which is what I really needed to, keep coming with that same mentality of work every day.
How big is the role, I guess, as Brandon Staley played in y'all's kind of improvement as the years gone on? What's impressed you by him?
Honestly, I think I can confidently say that he's probably the most competitive coach I've ever been around. And I love that from a coach. And I think, players have to motivate themselves, but I think when a coach has that type of competitive fire every day, like literally every day, every moment, I think that just brings out the best of his players. And I think he's done a really good job of bringing out the best in everybody around him. And I know he's going to continue to do that.
How does that kind of show up the competitiveness?
Man, there's so many ways I could describe it. Even just his tone of voice, but just his level of the way he prepares the coaches, and then the way he attacks a walkthrough, just the level of seriousness. Everything has to be Super Bowl standard. And he's big on the silent tape, He loves, the flashy plays are all cool and all, but he likes the plays where, it doesn't even have to be talked about, but it's the plays that are necessary to win games. So.
Safety, you're on the sinker.
Appreciate that.
Here go Jawan, man. Jawan been playing big.
Ask away.
Who made the shirt?
Oh, here you go. I actually found it on shop.com, so I'm not sure who made it, but it was something that I needed before Christmas. I'll take a picture, yeah.
Just having a win like this to close out the home season,
Yeah.
what does it mean for all of you to do that for the fans?
It means a lot. I think when you start off the season the way that we did, and then they kind of regroup the way we did in the middle of the season, kind of put some stuff together. Ironically, it kind of happened when Tyler became quarterback, and things started to happen, pieces started to move, and then we just started to come together. And then the gel started to come again, sort of like how it was in the offseason, kind of playful. We were always kind of playful, but we just kind of let loose, we just kind of played free. And so when we started doing that, our offense kind of came alive. Kellen started to get a little more comfortable. Started seeing him yelling at the rest a little bit more. I'm like, all right, starting to get a little more comfortable. But yeah, I just feel like everybody started to get a little more comfortable, started to let their hair down a little bit, and I think we got after it a little bit. So I think that was the biggest part in just kind of this whole win streak in December. Just really getting back to what we're good at, doing things well, being selfless, and just going out there and playing.
Personality has always been a big conversation outside of the facility. I just want to make sure everything you said he yelled at the referee.
He 100% yelled at the referee. I think the biggest thing is just refs call some stuff, and I think, you can get a little pass and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to let it slide. But when it happens over and over again, it's always good to see Kellen kind of get out of what people think he is and kind of get after it. But the thing is, he's been doing a great job. Aside from that, he's been doing a phenomenal job. And I think he's kind of did well with what's going on throughout the whole year, keeping his composure, keeping the locker room the way it is. And this is the best locker room I think I've been around, especially with the season, what it's been. Nobody ever wavered. No one ever wanted to give up. No one ever looked forward to the offseason. I don't think I really even had a lot of, offseason conversations. Like, everybody's been pretty locked in and kind of wanting to finish the year off right. So he has the good guys. He has the right guys in there to do the job, and I think that's the biggest part about it.
Why do you think that is? Why do you say this is the best locker room?
Yeah, sort of like I said, the thing is like you could always have a good locker room when you win it, but when you're losing, it really shows the character of a person. And so, when you're losing, you can always feel like, oh, well, we're not doing this right. We're not doing this right. You point the finger, you kind of want to leave, you want things to go a certain way. You think you should be getting the ball more. And the thing is like, you don't really see that. And the thing is like I said, he brought in the right guys to have the right mindset. And I think that all started with the offseason activities that we did. We did a lot of offseason activities. You get to know like the guys who you're going to war with and the guys you're going to play with. And I think that's the biggest thing, getting to, do paintball, going bowling, things like that. I think that's all part of something that people may not think it's, necessary. But when you get to times like December, it really pays off because you really know who you're going to war with.
You're going to just touch on it, but you guys today matched the win total from last year. Is it crazy how different 5 wins this year feels versus?
Yeah. Yeah, but just the way you win too. And I think, like I said, when you win with certain people, especially like the players, it means a lot more because we know how much work we put in to be where we're at. You know, I don't think people expected a lot out of this year, but I think the narrative's starting to change just the way that we're like compiling on wins and the way that we're playing and the way that we're winning. And I think that's the biggest thing about it all. I think last year, yeah, we had the first 2 wins, and that was early, and then we kind of had wins here and there. But I think right now, just the way that we're winning, and the style that we're winning at, and the way that we're playing, I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, he's okay. Taysom is by far one of the best players I've been around, just on and off the field. The thing is, people don't see the selfless things he does. I mean, the thing is like he could get the ball, once in a game and not say anything, and then the next week, he goes off. But the thing is, you would never know the difference. The thing is, he's just such a selfless person, a selfless player. And the thing is, he's earned everything that he's got. Just the accolade that he had today. I mean, that's everything that he did. Like what Jonas said, like the silent tape, that's just a silent work that he's done on the side that no one else sees. And I think that's the biggest thing. He has all the credit in what he's done, just in his career. And then he has I'm grateful and I'm honored to be one of his teammates.
2 more for the one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was definitely an opportunity for the younger guys, like Mason Tipton. I think this was his first start. So for him to go in there, knowing guys were out, knowing guys were hurt, he's been working for this pretty much the whole season. I mean, he wasn't even like a number 4 guy. I think he was like a number 5 guy. You had Brady Cook, you had Shough, you have all those guys. And so, with him coming in here and just working and getting his opportunity just to do what he could do just to help the team out, I think that's a big testament to him. Just like Aldridge. Aldridge came in, he just came off the street or whatever when we picked him up, and then he goes out there and makes some plays for us. And so just having Taysom in there, I mean, we have him everywhere. Have him at receiver, tight end, running back, whatever it is. I think, all those guys, like I said, it's just like a team, just a bunch of team players in here. And I think that's the biggest thing about it, just having a group of guys who aren't selfish. You don't say, oh no, I don't do that, I only play this position, or I don't do that, like I need to move, I need to go somewhere else. I think we got guys in here who can really do the job, and that's the big thing about it. Yeah. It's been a difference, but I think the biggest thing, he's just being himself. Like, I think even when he wasn't playing, he was still being himself. He was playing like some weird music coming into the locker room or going into the training room, like right before the game. He's still playing his weird music, or he's still making jokes like here and there going to walkthrough. He's still been the same person, since week 1. So I think the biggest thing is just like there wasn't any like shift in terms of his personality. That's the biggest thing, like especially having a quarterback. You're not going to get anybody that's going to change on you. He's been really consistent. The only thing that's happened is that he's just improved his preparation. I think that's the biggest thing. Grabbing guys, watching film with them, taking guys, even taking me, and like let's going over little things like this is what I see. Do you see the same thing? And going over things like that. I think he's just become more of a leader. Nothing in a negative way. Everything has been in a positive way. Can I skip that part? Because I don't want to offend y'all. But it's just some weird music that I don't listen to. But it's been good.
Why you look at me?
I didn't say I'm dead to look at you. I'm just saying. All right, y'all.
It's Taysom, man. Taysom redeemed himself after that early fumble.
Best locker room that he's been a part of. What's your thoughts on kind of the locker room, the culture this year?
Yeah, I think it's been a great locker room. Juwan talked about when the season started the way that it did. I think it shows a lot about the characters and the character of our team. And the reality is there's been no quit in anybody in that locker room, and everyone's still competing and playing for one another. And God, that's a fun environment to be in, and we know that the postseason stuff is off the table, but everyone's still cherishing every opportunity you get, and that's I think that's pretty unique and special, and I think that's what Juwan and others are referring to.
Kevin was saying that you had 24 people, or at least 24 passes. Did you have any similar efforts of trying to get families here? Or?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of family here. Yeah, we got a lot of family here tonight. Yeah, my entire family's here for the game, so it was fun to have them here, and feel a lot of love and support from people around me. That's for sure.
Did you take a second? Again, I didn't have a chance to ask Cam this. I know you've been so much to fans and to this team, seen a lot of ups and downs. Even just coming off the field, provide not to say it will be, but just understanding that things change in this game.
Yeah, it's ask me the tough questions. Look, my wife asked me that this morning. Excuse me. And I didn't really feel any type of way this morning, but as I was driving to the stadium today, you start to think about the last 9 years and what it's meant to me and my family and the city and stuff. So I think for me personally, you just try to take it all in, we had a great experience here tonight, and I don't know what the future holds for me, but it was a special day for me and the family. Say it again.
You want your time, or have you thought about?
I'm focused on the next 2 weeks, and we'll kind of tackle the rest of that as we get down the road.
How satisfying was it to throw a touchdown? Just that play. Can you just kind of take us through that play?
Yeah, honestly, I was a little bit surprised when it came in. You have to ask CO. I think they were going to hold CO out of the game, and he found out what the call was, and he says, "No, I'm in." You can confirm that with him because I was on the field. But yeah, look, I mean, it was. I know Kellen made a concerted effort to give me more opportunities and stuff given the circumstances, and God, it's a great way to seal a game. We had the look that we wanted, and it worked out perfectly.
What does it mean to you? Kellen's in his first year here. He doesn't have the full breadth of understanding of your contributions here in terms of watching it all transpire, but he's still sends the ball your way.
Yeah, Kellen's been great. If there's one thing about Kellen is he's a very aware coach, and he knows what's going on, and he knows how challenging this league is. And I think he's got a really unique perspective having played, and, he's got a different perspective from being in the locker room that way. And he doesn't let those things, just pass by, and our locker room and the recognition that he gives to guys for what they do is evident of that. So I think everyone appreciates that about Kellen. It's one of those things that endears a player, to him and a locker room, and people feel that and rally behind that.
He also said that after your receiving touchdown was swiped away, that they really tried to get you on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I've not had any conversations about any of this, but I was laughing in my head. We had the touchdown, then the next play he tried to give me another one, and then the next play he called the screen to me, and I was laughing in my head, and it was like Kellen knows. Look, those things don't go unnoticed, and like I said, Kellen's great about all of these things, and I appreciate that about him.
The touchdown that wasn't, how does that tackle over what kind of helped the UCLA things, and how did that kind of build out from last week?
Yeah. look, that's a package that we've been carrying for the last few weeks, and we had the run last week, and so we felt like it was one of those things that was primed in a situation like that. So Kellen's great about giving similar formations, same looks, but then there's so many different things that he wants to do off of that. So after we ran the touchdown with Dev last week, everybody felt like, the pass off of that was ready to go. So, that goes back to how Kellen operates and his preparation and what he does.
When you look back, obviously you set some kind of unique and novelty records, but to do what you did today, the only person in the Super Bowl era, 1,000 rushing and receiving, is that something better?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'd be lying if it was something I wasn't aware of, in conversation and stuff. But I think in moments like these, causes me to be really reflective, and I think my overall feeling right now is just one of gratitude. I think this organization, this city has been so good to me. All the way back to Sean, and had this unique vision of things that I could do. And God, I owe a lot of thanks to a lot of people, throughout the last 9 years of different opportunities, because I think, it'd be easy not to give me opportunities like that, to have these unique experiences. But I really appreciate what those guys did early on. I really appreciate, Kellen and Clint last year, and these guys that have continued to create opportunities for me. It means a lot. So I haven't thought a ton about it, but I can tell you, I feel a ton of gratitude.
Was the receiving part of that something that you ever envisioned for yourself as a college quarterback?
No. I mean, there's.
How long did that take you to feel comfortable out there running routes and football?
I mean, I would say that part of it has kind of like been this little bit of a joke, not a joke, but it was. Look, I feel comfortable doing that, but I still remember, 5-6 years ago, Devontae Adams was a teammate of mine in Green Bay, and we were playing them, and I'd caught a touchdown or something, and I saw Devontae after the game, and he made a comment to me about, like, man, you got more receiving touchdowns than I do, And, so look, I think that goes back to what I said earlier, where I owe so many thanks to so many people that created unique opportunities for me, And,
Is there a moment where you turn from this isn't really what I expect my career to go to, you have it at a level
I haven't really thought about my career that way. I think my mindset through all of this was you just got to take advantage of every opportunity that you're given, and this is it's a challenging league. It's a challenging league to stick around, and super competitive. And so I think when you get opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. And so that's really been my mindset throughout all of it. And I haven't really thought much about how unique it's been, or, what I wanted or what I didn't want type of thing, just taking it one day at a time and making sure that I make the most of each of them.
We'll take one more for Taysom. We're a little backed up.
I know that you said a couple of times you haven't thought about it, so I'm sorry if this falls in this category. But at this point in your career, could you imagine playing for another team? Like, would you consider that to going?
Yeah, I think that's one of those questions that we'll tackle down the road. But I can tell you, I have so much love for the city of New Orleans and this fan base and the way that they've embraced me and my family. It's been really special. So, I wouldn't want to play somewhere else, but there's a lot of circumstances that, are out of your control too, right? And I understand the nature of this business, and I'm not thinking that way right now. But we'll tackle that when we get there. Thanks, guys.
We'll have Chris Olave and then Charlie.
Shout out to Taysom, man. Getting close. Chris Olave, man. Big game today for Chris.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like that for sure. I definitely want to be a part of that. Especially, I knew Taysom. They wanted to get him a touchdown, so I wanted to be a part of that. And it was a deep ball too, so I definitely wanted to be in there.
This was, I believe, a career high in receiving yards for you in this game. Just, I mean, with the way that kind of the season has gone and everything, and the ending that's now ahead, and the way that the momentum's been, just what does it all mean to you?
It feels good, man. I feel like we left a lot of plays out there too, especially that first touchdown. Got to hold on to that. A couple of those deep balls, I feel like could have been a lot more, but I'm glad we executed and went out there and was able to come out with a win. Tyler did a great job today. Offensive line did a great job, and I feel like we executed when we needed it the most.
Chris, for you, considering what we went through last year and some of the questions that were being asked about you coming into this year with concussion history and everything. To know you're coming out of today's game, you got 1,000 receiving yards, more career high receptions. Like, what does it mean to put that all together this year?
I just gotta thank God, man. It was a tough time last year. I was only 24 years old, contemplating retirement, especially with the head injuries. But I prayed about it. My close fam was around me. They stuck by my side, and I just gave it another try, another chance. And it's been a great year. I feel like through all the ups and downs, I just kept focused. Kellen still believed in me. And all I could do is thank God in this situation. And I'm super grateful. Really, just really after the second concussion, being out there in Carolina and the next few days. I mean, that was my last game, and I don't know when it was. I think it was October or November, but it was a long time, especially not coming back last year. Had that being my last game, and it was tough. It was real tough. Long off season, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things, and especially early in the year, it's easy to be in practice and run routes and do all that without getting hit. But the first few games, it was tough going out there, kind of trying to get down and get used to playing again. But kind of after a few games, I kind of got more and more comfortable.
Did you decide, all right, I should retire that, in the offseason, and once you started to feel better?
Playing sports my whole life, I can't really imagine my life without playing football. But it was tough, with the head injuries and all that. But like I said, I just talked to God a lot, talked to my family. That was the best thing around me at the time, my parents, my brothers, and all my close people. I felt like I leaned on them a lot, and they helped me get out the situation, and I'm super grateful to be where I am today.
You guys are being transparent about contract conversations moving forward after this year. You still have another year on your deal next year, but those conversations continue, and is that still something you have a desire to do?
Yeah, they've continued. It's been a clear communication, but I ain't really focused on that right now. Just trying to finish the year off strong. It's been a couple conversations here and there, but like I said, I just want to prove that I'm one of the top receivers in the league year in and year out when I got a full year. So just got to finish these last two strong, and that's them conversations going to come.
And maybe this goes without asking, but do you want the extension, right?
Oh yeah, of course. This is where I want to be, man. They took a chance on me. They traded up in the draft to be able to come get me. So they've been nothing but good to me. They was here for me last year when I was going through that tough time. They told me to take my time. They stood by my side. So, and even this year when Kellen came in, he still believed in me through the ups and downs. This year, he kept coming to me, and I'm super grateful for that. And I can't thank the organization enough for that.
Chris, two games left, but how helpful will it be for you going into offseason on quarterback settles and start building and doing all that stuff with Tyler?
Man, he's doing a great job. Like I said, the city's behind him. He's doing it. He's performing really well, especially with all the injuries. I know it's going to be a long off season, but to be able to work with him throughout the off season and build that chemistry, build that connection to be even better next year, it's a huge thing. And I feel like that goes unnoticed, but I feel like it's going to be a great thing going into next year. Next man up. I feel like it's the league we live in. Injury is going to happen. It's unfortunate, but next man got to be ready to step in that spot. And I feel like Kevin, Tipton, and Pettis did a great job. Even the running back room did a great job with doing that today. And Taysom had a lot of carries. He had a great game today. And I feel like with this organization, I feel like it's a great thing that happened to us for us with all the injuries this year.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Charlie Smyth.
Oh, mad. I was like, what?
Were you the only guy that felt like disappointed when Olave got that touchdown?
I didn't know the circumstances of the of what was at stake for Taysom. So whenever I heard that, I was super pumped up for him. But in that moment, I saw it was 5 and tied for club record. So you're at that time. But then after hearing about what Taysom was at stake for him, it was awesome. And just want to give great credit to the offense and defense today. I think we're really starting to play some good complementary football here, and defense got a lot of turnovers, and offense was awesome again and getting us in position to and then we got some opportunities to go out there and execute, and Kai Zach and the O-line did a great job, and just got to knock a couple of them through, so it was nice. Yeah, it's a moment I would like back. I think it's a little bit of a learning moment where, like, I know I can hit those without having to change my form, but because it was your first 60-plus attempt in a game and it was end of half, you're kind of a little amped up going out there, and I kind of just wish I could have that one back, and it was a great learning moment for going forward where, I feel like I don't need to change my form to hit that 61, but I kind of like just sort of short stabbed it but pulled it a little bit, so we'll learn going forward, but yeah. Yeah, look, the support from everybody, back home in Ireland has been unreal, and I'm super grateful for it. Like, it's a lot of people are pushing the game of American football in Ireland now, and it's nice to play, I suppose, a small part in the rise of even just the fan culture at home, and yeah, look, just super delighted to be a part of that, and the support has been amazing. Like, just constantly getting texts, and my phone's just constantly blowing up this past couple of weeks, so it's been unreal, and yeah, just it's but look, it's been unreal because this organization took a chance on me a couple of weeks ago and says, look, despite all the lack of experience, we're still going to give him a shot, and we'll see what he's been doing in the building. So just super grateful to everybody here, and look, I think we're all reaping the rewards of it at the minute.
Charlie, can you talk to real quick from a moment on this is your fourth career game, right?
Yeah.
The Saints have been around for over half a century, and your name's in the record books now, at least tied. Between that and the accolades that Rory McIlroy has had, what kind of year is this for Northern Ireland in sports?
Yeah, it's been a great year for all of our sports, to be honest. Rory won the Masters, and then Shane Lowry hit the putt in the Ryder Cup, and the athletics at home's taken off really well. A couple of the girls are doing really well. The Irish soccer team had a big win against Hungary a couple of weeks ago. So I feel like the sports at home's rising. Katie Taylor in boxing, so it's the Irish sporting culture around the world is really picking up, and it's pretty cool to be a part of that. So just got to keep it going now.
So I'll have to see if I'm right here, but I'm fairly certain you're the only kicker in the NFL that fans cheered for every single time that you walked onto the field. What did that mean?
Yeah, look, no, it's nice now that, the support from everybody here in New Orleans has been unreal, and again, just the phone, like the DMs and stuff, everybody's just being really, really nice, and you don't take that for granted at all, because you want to be liked, right? You want to make kicks, you want to have the team win, and if we can keep doing that, that's where it's at, really. I suppose just my focus is on. It's great having that, but it's only going to continue like that if I stay focused on what I can control, which is the next kick, So I was really happy then after, the miss that we were able to respond, and I think it was the extra point after. But no, look, it's, again, I just want to emphasize the team here. It's like when we were 2-10, like I haven't been around, American football culture a lot, right? This is, the first time, but like, even when we were 2-10, everybody in the locker room was super together. Like, I don't think that's normal. I think whenever teams that are in like losing games, people start to get bitch at each other and start to give off to each other. But this hasn't happened this year, and this team is stuck together, and that's why the wins are starting to come now, because we're starting to find out about everybody, and look, we all want to be a part of this going forward, and that's kind of what's at stake for everybody. Who's going to stay, who's going to not be a part of it. So that's what everybody's fighting for, and that's what I'm fighting for. I want to be a part of this, and so let's just keep it going and on to Tennessee next week now. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody.
Nice sweatshirt.
With the Guinness shirt on, no doubt. Shout out to Charlie Smyth, the kicker. Nate Shepard, man. Well, they're going for a record tonight with Presser.
Impactful year, but you're just a pretty reserved guy.
Mhm.
Can you tell us
It's been filled with like a lot of challenges. I always go into like a year knowing that there's going to be adversity. You just don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know what form it's going to take. And it's just about like, okay, whatever obstacle is in our way, how are we going to overcome it? Because that's where, progress happens. So I feel like we've just been doing the best we can to, lean on each other in these hard times and times of adversity and be like, okay, well, why are we facing this? It's to get better, right? That's what we committed to, right? Early on in the year before any of this started. Okay, well, here's the obstacle. How are we going to overcome it together? So that's been, I would say, the focus that we try to surround ourselves around and just kind of block out any other distractions.
When the sacks are coming like that as a team, how much fun is that, and how much does it sort of feed on itself? The snowball kind of thing.
I get what you're saying. It's like a little bit of a feeding frenzy, but it's great when that happens, but it's kind of like there's a huge recipe, a part of that. Like everyone has to contribute. It's not just the defense. It's like if I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at special teams. To begin with, special teams played very well. We're able to have like great field position no matter where we started. So, got to give it out to special teams. Offense doing a great job of sustaining drives. That's definitely huge. Does a couple of things. We're able to come up with more points. We're also able to keep their offense off the field. They have less opportunity to create explosives. Definitely won the turnover battle. This like all goes into it. So, and then what else on the defensive perspective? Don't quote me, but I think we had kept them under like 70 yards against, Breece Hall. He's a premier back in this league. So every time you can take away the run game, eventually, and you're scoring points on offense, great field position, eventually it's kind of like a pressure cooker where it's like, okay, what is an offense going to do? They're going to go to throwing the ball. And when we're in that great position, hey, everyone can kind of contribute off of each other and, get those big plays. Sorry, what was that? I would say I started my career off earlier in the Jets and had a great opportunity to get drafted by them. Todd Bowles, Mike McCagnon was the GM at the time. Still close with Todd. Now he's at Tampa Bay. So, and there was definitely like a lot of turnover in my time there. So I would just say like everything I took from the Jets, is part of who I am today. So I can't really take away from that. I would say that in this locker room, what we're trying to do is just try to keep going forward. Whatever the adversity is, we're just trying to keep going forward, trying to lean on each other. And, we're not like our mentality is, hey, as long as we don't give up, we don't lose. Whatever the score says at the end of the day, that doesn't explain, the effort that we got to put in. It's not related. So it's just like, hey, whatever adversity we have, whatever problems there is, how are we attacking it? Whatever the scoreboard says.
Just being Cam's teammate, seeing his family show up. What do you make of that? And then for him to actually, come out and have the game that he does too. What is that for you guys as a team?
I mean, with Cam, it's just a matter of time. You give that guy reps and you're going to have production. So definitely happy for him. Was I surprised? I'm just like, no, because I'm like, I know this is what he does. This is what he's going to get done. This is what he's going to continue doing for, as long as he chooses to. So It's really great to I wasn't here for his whole career, but it's really great to like be a part of what he was able to accomplish today and just kind of look back at like, dang, look at this body of work that he's being able to do. Look at his resume. To be part of that is a great opportunity, but also like an inspiration to like everyone else, whatever part you are in your career. Like, hey, as long as you keep with it, you know, a lot of things can happen at the end.
What opportunity Staley coach stands out and how he goes about who you guys are in preparation and all this?
I feel like one great thing about Staley I could say is that you can tell that he's looking at the big picture, and I feel like he's definitely looking down the road. Even though each day he takes one day at a time, he definitely has a lot of belief in this defense. He definitely wants to drive this defense in a winning direction, in a dominant direction, and that's what he holds us to every day. And every day, same guy, same expectations, high expectations for everyone in that room, and there's no easy way out. So mistakes, whatever it is, he's gonna get on you, but only because he expects so much from everyone in that locker room. And you know, we're able to put that together and have good performances. So definitely, you know, enjoying that right now. Bank and I, we're going to hit it up. I'm going to talk to him. Hopefully, actually, I'm supposed to be hitting him up right now. He was waiting on me. I had to text him, said I got some things to do. But no, Bink's my guy. It was great seeing him. It was great seeing a lot of other guys. I mean, Jermaine Johnson. Glad to see that he came back from injury and he's healthy. Michael Clemens. Who else is there right now? Brees Hall. Those are a few guys that it was great to see them and some other guys in the building for sure too. Hey, thank you guys very much.
Shout out to Shep. Shep been playing a lot better, man. Over the last 2 or 3, been playing really well. And here's Shough, the Shuckinator is on the mic.
This many times, or is that sort of the way it played out once the game started?
I think that was just kind of the way it played out. You know, I think we felt good about throwing the ball, and I think that's always. I think we had a really good plan in kind of all phases of it. So obviously, you want to maybe not throw it so much, but I think whatever it takes to win. I think that's, you know, I've said it before, and it was a great offensive unit effort, and we left a lot out there, quite frankly. So we got to patch it up and continue to go.
Did the touchdown pass to Olave just open some stuff up for you? He's just kind of, you get that first touchdown, and you can kind of get stuff going a little bit more.
No, I mean, it was frustrating because we didn't start how we knew we could do, and I think we were moving the ball. We were just like a yard short in some of those third downs, and it was tough. But I think it was just a great play call by Kellen and a great route by CO and all the guys kind of helping them get open versus that man coverage look. And I mean, whenever you can kind of get him, you know, one-on-one, obviously you got to throw him the ball.
Was there kind of an effort to get him involved early this week? Obviously last week you were saying first half.
Yeah, for sure. I think we got to do everything we can to get him the ball, and that was my goal. We had great communication the whole week. He's one of our best players, and he needs to get the ball. And credit to him preparing the way that he did, showing up. You know, it was big time. Obviously, things happen during the game where certain flows, but he's always the same dude.
I know you're a rookie. This is your first NFL season, but like to find this momentum at the end of the season here, with three straight wins, like, do you feel like this is something that you can build on going into next year, knowing that the postseason is already in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can put something on tape that you want to show other people, show your teammates, all of us, we're all playing for valuable, you know, for everything that's valuable to us, whether that's we're going to be here on a different team for certain guys or we're super proud of, you know, what we're putting together. I think we're just having fun. And I think that's the biggest thing. We all want to be here together. You know, we're understanding that how we finish this game is kind of the characterization of this team. And I think that it's kind of reflecting that in the play and the defense, special teams, everybody. I think we've done a better job of just playing with each other, playing complementary football.
Just getting to the milestone of 300 yards, what does that do for you as a quarterback?
I don't really care. I mean, we should have had quite a bit more and left a lot of points on the board. So got to find a way to kind of fix those things and continue to go forward.
Would you make him Kellen just kind of zone out to make sure Taysom had this moment there?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew when the play call was coming in. I was like, I knew we were close. We talked about it on the sideline. I was hoping we got that touchdown to kind of be the signaling moment for him, but just super proud of that's just kind of a credit to him, his preparation, his work. He takes a beating physically week in and week out, playing different positions, different personnel groups. So he's just such an asset for us, and he's very deserving of everything that he gets, and that's a huge milestone.
That touchdown obviously came back, but like building off of the look last week that you guys scored on, kind of what advantage did you guys get just in the way someone kind of build that out?
Yeah, it was just a great two-play package there. Obviously, you playing with tempo, going up on the ball, having the ability to run it out in space, and then kind of having the pass off of it as well. So just it was a great play call and great design by him.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your kind of blossoming into leadership, pulling guys aside, working with them, and things like that? What is it? How did you go about sort of cultivating that sense of you had to be a bit patient with? Like, what was that process?
I think it started as soon as I got here. I was really intentional about getting to know everybody, making sure I'm the same dude every single day. And obviously, when you're in a backup role, you're not you're not pulling guys aside or really jumping guys or talking to there's a different element of that naturally, but you still want to be the same dude. But I kind of kept my same routine, sending guys scripts, making sure the communication was great regardless of it. That way. When I became a starter, it didn't change. And then obviously you kind of expand on that, and you got to earn that and earn the respect of those guys. And I think naturally, we've kind of been able to bond together. And for me, that's my whole goal is to continue to build that. And I think obviously the quarterback position, you're thrust into it. But for me, how I behave around my teammates, who I am every single day, what we put on film, that's the stuff that really matters to me.
Whether you're still kind of cultivating what your leadership approach is, position, but just early on here, kind of what are some of the factors into leading as a quarterback?
You have to have a one-on-one relationship with each guy. You can't ask them to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. And I think we have a great bond with each other. We spend a lot of time outside the facility together. It's kind of been a journey. Obviously, the season hasn't gone as exactly as we wanted to, but we've kind of stayed resilient through that. And for me, that's why you play football, to kind of go out there every single day. And but for me, I'm going to do everything I can to earn those guys' respect every single day, no matter the circumstance.
What do you think rookie of the year matter to you? Some of the performances you've had, it's not put yourself in the conversation at least for it.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a great achievement. But I think for us, I think we, that can be attained by finishing the season the right way with getting the victory next week and then the week after that. So that's all I'm focused on right now, and go from there.
CEO was in here talking to me about how last year just all the concussions that he went through and the health scares. And he was like, it's their retirement at 44. I know you've been through your own share of injuries. Like to see him bounce back the way he has this year, another 1,000-yard year. What do you think of that?
It's tough. It's tough because you understand where he's coming from mentally, and you understand the value of just your body, and for him to kind of continue to step up to the plate every single week, every single year. And like I said before, he's the same dude, and I think he's just kind of continuing to grow. He's, we're around the same age. He's got so much left in the tank, and I think obviously he understands what's in front of him and what he's doing now. So I'm really proud of him. I know it's obviously not easy, but I think that's just a credit to him and the coaching staff and everybody for believing him, and he's going to be great for us.
50 Cent on the IG post this week. You got a song you're going to put on there?
I don't know. I was not expecting seeing him pregame. I was like, holy crap, that was 50, man. That was it was pretty cool. That was probably one of the cooler moments for me as a player. But got to talk to him a little bit, but hopefully get him back a few more times as well. I got a wide genre, man. I keep it fresh. We got reggae, we got rap, we got country, EDM. I like to keep it fresh. Everybody keep the juices flowing. For me, I've kind of been everywhere for college wise, so I've gotten a wide array. But don't let him lie to you. He's vibing to it as well. But we usually keep the same rotation. Appreciate it.
All right, shout out to Tyler. Over 300 yards for Tyler Shough for the first time in this season, man. And that's going to be the end of the presser right there. Tyler shuts it down. Huge, man. A huge win for the Saints because what it does, it puts the Saints on the level where, man, now we can close out very strong and handle the business. And I told y'all, didn't I warn y'all? Didn't I warn y'all about this? I warned y'all about this long presser when the Saints won. That was going to bring out 1,000 people. I told you we had 8 sacks. We should have averaged about 8 people to the press conference. Now, I don't say, Pops, I don't know how many it was, but I think it was about 8 people. We had a person per sack. Y'all, let me see. Let's round it off. We had Tyler. We had Tyler.
Cam.
We had Cam. We had Chris Olave. We had Juwan Johnson. We had Charlie Smyth. We had Nate Shepard. Am I missing anybody? Who else am I missing?
Tyler.
Well, Tyler. We had the kicker Charlie Smyth, Cam Jordan, Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, Nate Shepard. Who am I forgetting? I think that's everybody. I think it might have been 6 of them, maybe 7. I might be missing out on somebody. But, man, that was everybody. But, Pops, listen, man, this was a fantastic. Saints, the biggest thing is the Saints played under control this game. They played under control. They didn't have a bunch of penalties. They had like 3 penalties, but a couple of them were personal foul penalties, not like false start and all this kind of stuff. That was clean. Defense was strong as usual. Special teams were 5 for 6 kicking the ball. Offense got going in the second half. 2 touchdowns from them on the back end to close out the day. Solid performance. But all the press conferences, Pops, kind of talk to you about what you heard from all those long press conferences. Your thoughts?
Well, they're looking they're looking much better and they're feeling better about themselves, and they've been executing very, very well. And I'm thinking that they have something going here. I mean, we should be able to go and hopefully get a win at Tennessee, and then catch them dirty birds on the tail end of the season and knock them off. If we can pull that off, it's a very, very, very good outlook for the upcoming season. I'm excited about them playing. I look forward to this game. Like I said last week, I figured we'd get this game. We needed this game. We got it. So now we got to just finish the last 2. Finish over there in Tennessee, and then come back, go to Atlanta and take care of the business over there. And we don't want in that dome. So, that's not alien country to us over there in Atlanta, because we play just as well in their dome as they play in our dome. So this should be a high note finishing the season like they finished in the season. So I'm looking forward to them, son. I really am. I'm thinking that they're going to do what they need to do. They're under the right leadership. The coaches and their philosophies are starting to take effect on the team. And as a result, you see the wins.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, and shout out to the Great Saint Think Tank. Do me a service, hit the like button, man, for a Saints win. Also, feel free to sub if you're not a sub. Also, feel free to share the links. And listen, fam, I named I missed 3 people. I mean, that's got to be a record at that press conference. They had more people at the press conference than sacks, because I forgot Kellen Moore, Jonas Sanker, and Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
So let's recap this thing again. It was like 8 people, right, family? Y'all give me maybe 9. It was, and I promise, I say, fam, they're gonna have a bunch of people at this presser. Kellen Moore, Tyler Shough, Taysom Hill, Cam Jordan, Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, Charlie Smyth, Jonas Sanker, and Nathan Shepard. That's 9 people. That's 9 people.
The fellas excited, buddy. They excited.
Oh, my God.
They excited. They got to come tell their story. So I'm not sweating, because one thing, they got the victory. That's all that counts. And that would be bad if we'd have lost to a sad sack team like the New York Jets. Lord have mercy. I mean,
hey, Pops, you called it last last Sunday. You called and said, man, these people don't have no fuel in their jet. I don't know. They're gonna probably have to walk home. But they're gonna take the Greyhound back.
Yep.
Yeah, leave that damn plane on the ground, man, with all the stuff. So yeah,
they got to take that plane and put it on the back of some trucks and take it apart and fly it and drive it back to New York.
You got to get a wide load there. Get triple.
Yes, sir. Get your wide load equipment. They come through my scale. I'll fix them up.
Yeah, he make some money for the state, Pop. There you go.
Yeah. But, I'll tell you what, man. A good game. I'm really excited about them. I enjoyed watching the game. They started off kind of slow, but then they got the mojo going, and they got the game, and that's what counts. And Tampa lost.
That's right, Pop.
Tampa lost that game. So if they lose to Carolina when they play them, they'll be the division. They'll win the division.
Yeah, they still got some games to play. It's going to go down to the line because I think Carolina has a tougher way there. I mean, this upcoming week for both those teams, Tampa, I think they're on the 4-game losing streak. 3 or 4 game. Tampa Bay is free falling right now. 4-game losing streak. They have the Miami Dolphins coming up next.
That should be a win.
The Carolina Panthers have the Seattle Seahawks coming up next.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. Carolina got it tough, so they got to go up there, handle business there, and they could flip. So Tampa Bay still has to play them, and they play them in the final game of the regular season to decide the NFC South. But listen, even if Carolina doesn't get it, what they did this year by lining themselves up to be in position for the NFC crown and going at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, these people they did a phenomenal job, man, and that's inspirational. Watching how Carolina, they were a bottom feeding team and them climbing and clawing their way into something. I got to give those guys respect. A lot of Carolina people watch the show, but just keeping it real, man. That's a similar transition that we want to have faster than what they had. Let's just be honest with you. It took them 3 years to get around to it. Hopefully we can do that in 2. You know what I'm saying, Pops?
Yep. Mm-hmm. If we can, all we got to do is stay on. If we can stay on schedule like we are right now, we have a very good chance to start the season off. If we can just start the season off on a high note, and we need to get every win we can right now. If we can go up to the Titans and get a victory up there, and then go to Atlanta and get a victory over, in their stadium, then we start the season off next year. We'll be on a high note. It'll be very, very good. And make some off-season moves and acquisition. We look like our quarterback is in the building or in the room. We don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, Pops. I mean, that was the biggest thing to figure out if Tyler Shough was the guy, because what it does do, it positions the Saints where they don't have to have to look at the draft and say, oh, well, let's see if we can get somebody else. It doesn't push your progress back. Now that you got the guy, you can build around the guy. You just got to solidify the offensive line. I think they can build the interior of the offensive line. And I think the Saints, be honest with you, fam, they didn't got the wide receiver weapons. I mean, Devon Valley and Shough look good. Chris Olave will get his extension. And then they still have Jalen Polk, who they gave up a draft pick for. The guy was a number 2, a second-round draft pick wide receiver that the Patriots have. He got hurt last year. The Saints gave up like a 6th or a 7th-round pick for a second-round talented wide receiver like Jalen Polk. He's not a speed demon, but he runs good routes and he catches everything. And he has a mean temperament when it comes down to catch the ball. So Jalen Polk, Devon Valley, Chris Olave, they still have Mason Tipton, and they'll be able to add other people to it. I think tight end really is a thing the Saints have to look at. They let Matavo play today, but the Saints really need to look at backup tight end. Foss Moreau will be gone. Stahl is on a 1-year deal. Taysom will be gone, so the Saints might want to look at improving the tight end position. But nonetheless, today was phenomenal, man, and how they were able to kind of capture and push this thing forward. So, Pops, let's hit the scoring stats right here. This is the scoring drop right here. How the Saints accumulated their 29 points in the game. Nick Folk, he started off at 10:38 mark in the first quarter, 8 plays, 26 yards, over 4 minutes. They kicked the field goal. Jets went up 3-0. Saints then kind of aptly got back onto that thing at the 6:31 mark in the first quarter. Charlie Smyth hit the first of his 6 field goals. Well, one was a miss, but he hit the first
from 35 out in 12 plays, 43 yards over 4 minutes. The Saints tie the game up 3-3. Saints come back in the second quarter at the 4:18 mark in the second quarter. Charlie Smyth hit a 49-yarder to give the Saints the lead for the first time in the game, 6-3. 8 plays, 35 yards, just under 4 minutes. Jets didn't come back in that same quarter at 12:38 mark in the second and kicked the field goal to tie the game. Nick Folk 36 yards out, 6 plays, 47 yards, buck in 40 minutes. Saints said, hold on. Before halftime, a buck 31, Charlie Smyth kicked a 36-yarder to take the lead yet again. 15 plays, 73 yards, just under 6 minutes. Saints take the lead before halftime, knowing the Jets will get the ball back at halftime. They go up 9-6 in the second half. Started the third, well, not the start of the third quarter, with about 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Saints get the first touchdown of the game. Chris Olave, a 23-yard pass from Tyler Shough, 12 plays, 93 yards, 520. Saints go up 16-6, and that was a wrap. Fourth quarter starts at the 11:09 mark in the fourth quarter. Charlie Smyth kicked a 50-yard field goal to push the lead out 19-6. The next field goal by Charlie Smyth again at the 5:17 mark in the fourth quarter from 39 yards out made it 22-6, 10 plays, 23 yards, 3 minutes, 51 seconds. And then the Saints, the Mike Tyson knockout punch at the back of the game, a 38-yard touchdown toss from Taysom Hill to Chris Olave, 3 plays, 44 yards, less than a minute. The Saints score 29-6 at the 1 minute, 54 second mark in the fourth quarter to seal the game off. So yeah, the good playing Saints offense really didn't get going until the back end of the game. A lot of great stats to kind of talked about. We went over it early in the broadcast toward the back of the game. And Pops, this kind of pivots us now toward the matchup. Up next, you talked about the Titans. This is what we got going on next. The matchup indicator has the Saints winning this game. We're going to be favored in this matchup against the Tennessee Titans. We're going up to Nissan Field, or Nissan Stadium, whatever you call it. The Saints looking to get the 4th win in a row. Tennessee, they did beat a banged up Kansas City Chiefs team today, 26-9. They've been up and down over the last 3 games, 2-1 out of the last 3. The Saints are 3-0. What do you anticipate here? We did, however, in the game lose Brian Bresee. We'll see what that looks like on Monday. Foster Moreau was also dealing with an issue as well. So we'll see updates on those players on Monday from Coach Moore. But thoughts on what we've seen or a quick preview looking at this matchup with the Tennessee Titans, early preview, what needs to happen here for the Saints to gain another win?
Well, they'll be playing on the dirt field, I think. They'll be playing on the dirt field. And so they really executed their offense very well on the dirt field, like they did in Tampa Stadium. And then on this stadium also has a dirt field. I expect the Saints to win. It's going to be a closer game than this last game was, because I think they're a slightly better team than the Jets. But I still think the Saints, with their determination and how quick Shough is getting the ball out, they have an opportunity to win this one as well. He gets that ball out so quick. It reminds me of how Drew used to get it out. Drew hardly got sacked because he got rid of the ball so quick. He knew where he was going with the ball before he threw it. So Shough is showing me that he has the same attributes. So I expect a victory, but I don't think it's not going to be. I don't expect it to be as bad as this one with the Jets. We might win by a field goal unless we can get some pressure on their quarterback and get a lot of sacks. I think we have a fairly decent shot at winning this one too.
Yeah, that'll be big because we know Cam Ward, who was the quarterback that was taken first overall in the draft last year, will be the guy that we have to contend with. I mean, this year actually. His numbers, you can see it on screen right now, fam, over 2,600 yards, 11 touchdowns against 7 picks. His QBR is not all that, 31.3, but he did put up 228 yards against a banged up Kansas City Chiefs, missing Mahomes for the rest of the season. 2 touchdowns, but still in all, this is a team is still a struggle fest. A lot of people anticipate Tennessee or the Jets will more than likely ended up being 1 and 2 in the draft, however way you look at it. Right. But yeah, this is a game that if you're the New Orleans Saints, the Saints are a more talented team to the Tennessee Titans, way more talented.
They certainly have gotten more disciplined, the Saints have. So we just have to see how this is going to develop. I'm thinking that we have another shot at winning this one as well. But like I said, it's most likely going to be a closer, closer team, closer game than today's game was. But I will be watching.
Yeah, this team here, Pops, to be honest with you, they're struggling. Cam Ward, though, is putting up decent numbers. Tony Pollard is a good running back. He's 100 and some change off of getting the 1,000 yards he's looking for. Eric Ayamayer is another really talented wide receiver that we scouted. But yeah, this is a team still, searching to find some talent to compete, and they're not quite there yet, man. So yeah, should be another team, and plus they're horrible at home. This team is like 1-7 at home, man. They don't do very well in their own building, man. So this could be, and like I said, we will have to be able to handle business, but it's a talking point that that's just people just throwing it out there. It's how the Saints handle the success. Man, after all of the losing the Saints have, and that's the thing about losing. It humbles you. It forces you to look at everything, look at the fundamentals. When you lose, it humbles you. So when you start winning, you're not going to be being all braggadocious and talking crap and all this other kind of stuff, because you're going to remember the process that the Lord took you through to get you to this point where you can be able to pivot, stay humble, stay on your grind, and just go out and execute. So I have no anxiety or no worry, none of that crap about the Saints being able to handle success. Come on, man. After all of the losing over the years, you've been humbled enough. You'll be humbled in winning. You'll be humbled in defeat. And you're just going to handle your business. Bottom line, so that's not even a talking point I even much entertain. They'll do just fine.
They'll be fine. Yes, they will be. Like I said, I like the way he executed Shough. If he can avoid Shough, he can avoid the pressure and get out and run, or he can pass the ball because he's learning to get the ball. I mean, he throws a pinpoint ball. I noticed he did it very well for the most part of the day. But the guy ain't got to stretch his ribs out like piano keys to try to catch a ball. Most of the time, he put that ball right there where he can grab it. And the guys get hurt when they have to stretch out for the ball sometimes,
That's right.
Now, I want to ask you this, son. I haven't heard anything on it. Did they shut Kamara down for the year?
I think he's not shut down for the year like Divine Valley and Devin Neal are. I think he's still there. He's not listed as out. They just got Elvin listed as out. Dylan, he's inactive. I don't, for my knowledge, and he's not on the IR that I've noticed.
Okay.
He's still an active player. Matter of fact, here's the chart right here that's pretty accurate. That's showing you who's on the IR. You see Valley.
Devin Neal.
Yeah, but the AK-41 is just listed as out. So Devin Neal's IR. So yeah, he's not designated as IR. So at some point, they're hoping that Elvin does return to the lineup, because it could be a help to have him back. We have Evan Hall and Audric Estime, and you're finally getting Elvin Kamara back. Perhaps that's this week. It'll be cool to get him back for the final 2 games of the regular season. That would be cool having him along with Tyler Shough. That's a wheel that we haven't seen either. Tyler Shough and combined with Elvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, the makeshift offensive line for the Saints really stepping up. Luke Fortner was a tremendous move. Get Luke Fortner in trade. Will Sherman they brought in has really solidified. Will Sherman, the number 66, a lot of people don't talk about. He's really played solid football for the Saints at the right guard position today. Not, he did decent blocking, Dylan Reduntz and all those guys, but we still need to help and improve that interior line. But these makeshift offensive linemen are doing a really decent job of should pass. Pops, what you think about the makeshift line and what the Saints do? Now, they ain't killing it with a ton of yards by any stretch of imagination, but today they had 84 yards off of 25 attempts. That's 3.4 on the average, but 25 yards and 25 rushing attempts versus 50 passing attempts by the Saints today.
Yeah, that tells me that they are, they good pass blockers. To give Tyler the time to throw the ball. They got good pass blockers. And they do some. They can run limited. They can do some limited pass blocking, but we need some run blockers. We're gonna have to get somebody or get a use the. I don't know the Saints why they don't use their fullback in the run game. I have heard them run. Use a fullback, run him a few times, make him a blocking back or on your draft. Try to get you a tight end that can run block as well as pass block. And you can find that out there in either free agency or through the draft. We need a tight end that can run block and also pass block. The pass blocking haven't been that bad because Tyler has learned how to get the ball out. And he got sacked a couple of times, but for the most part, that ball, as he gets that snap, 1, 2, 3, the ball is gone. So all they end up doing is knocking him around back there. So if we can get that aspect of our offensive line fixed, I think we may be looking at something special happening next year.
Yeah, the idea was to use Jake Stahl as as that player where you have a guy that's a tight end and he acts as a fullback. He didn't do that well. His blocking wasn't all that. So what they did was they started using Taysom Hill at fullback, this sort of thing. But I don't think Kellen Moore's offense is designed in a way. They might have to draft the guy, but they was trying to use Stahl in that capacity. And Stahl just really is not much of a blocker. He's supposed to be, but he really has not impressed. That's why he really hadn't been getting all of the time that we would anticipate he was supposed to be getting. Because I thought that's what his main function was, but ultimately what ended up doing it wasn't much hitting on it, period. All right, let's hit the scoreboard, family. We previewed it. How about the scoreboard to close out the broadcast? What's going on? The Jags up top Broncos right now at the top of the third quarter, 17-10. The Jags beating Sean Payton, and the Broncos are marching. They do have the ball marching. The Bo Nix 12-18, $158 and a touchdown. Coach Payton trying to get to 13-2. The Falcons tied up at half with the Cardinals, 16-6 currently for the game. So the Falcons are trying to hang tight, and not let the defeated Cardinals beat them 16-all right now. The Steelers, right before halftime, is tied up with the Lions. And boy, I ain't gonna lie, boy, the wide receiver just made a hell of a catch. The guy was on the ground, basically catch the ball, got up, and that was a phenomenal catch. We just seen wide receiver before halftime. They tied up 10-10. Number 14, I don't know his name. Is that Gainwell, the wide receiver? I ain't never seen what that guy was on the ground on his back and caught the ball, got up and ran in, and they said it was a touchdown. 2 seconds left in the half, 10-10. Raiders at halftime trailing the Texans 13-7. The Patriots and the Ravens go at it tonight. The Bills took care of business against the Browns 23-20. Shador finished with 20 of 29 for $157 in the score. Chargers defeated the Cowboys 34-17. Cowboys dropped. Herbert had 23 of 29 for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns for him as the Chargers improved to 11-4. The Chiefs go down. The Titans are next up for the Saints. They beat them 26-9. Cam Ward was 21 of 28, 228 yards and 2 passing touchdowns for Cam Ward. Tony Pollard had 21 carries for 102 yards in the matchup. We got to contend with those boys this upcoming week. The Bengals get a big win over the Dolphins, 45-21. Joe Burrow, 25 of 32, over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns for Joey B. Shout out to Joey B. Saints, of course, get the win against the Jets, 29-6. Tyler Shough, 32 of 49 for over 300 yards, first time in his career, and a touchdown there. The Saints hauled Breece Hall to 54 yards on 16 carries. Chris Olave cut up today, 10 catches, $148, and 2 scores for him. Saints win. Vikings over the Giants, 16-13 in the close one. And as you can see, a close one in Carolina took care of business against the Panthers, 23-20. They take possession of the NFC South. Bryce Young, 21 of 32, 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ted McMillan had 6 grabs for 73 yards in the score. Carolina can celebrate, but next week celebrate 24 hours. Then the next week, y'all got a tough one. They got the Seattle Seahawks, and that is going to be a big one, man. If they can take care of business there, because we know that the Buccaneers have a Dolphin matchup, and they got the Seahawks. It's going to be interesting next week. So, man, it's going to be fun. I know, and of course the Saturday games, the Eagles took care of business against the Commanders, 29-18. Pack fall to the Bears. Shout out to the Bears. They get their 11th win of the season. Caleb Williams was 19-34 for 2 touchdowns in the game. Moore had 5 catches for 97 yards in the score. And man, oh man, let me tell you something, man. It's interesting. Of course, Monday night, the Niners and the Colts face off. So interesting football, nonetheless. 2 weeks of NFL football remaining. Saints got the Titans coming up next in Titan territory. Saints take care of business at home, man, as we move this thing forward. All right. Anyway, with that being said, Pops, last thoughts before we leave the show.
Well, I'm looking for a tough game, and hopefully we can get a win when we play against the Titans. Go Saints.
Indeed, man. Saints put on a wonderful performance today, man. 29-6, knocking off the Jets like we expect them. We got a very interesting matchup against the Titans in their building. Like I said, Titans ain't very good. They got like one win. One win at home. They're not very good there, but the Saints, man, got to march in with this philosophy. If they could stay, and bring the control that they played into Titan territory, this could be interesting. But we're going to keep an eye on the injuries with Brian Bresee, what happened with Foster Moreau. We'll have all those updates on Monday stream, and we'll be back. So with that being said, I'm out, fam. I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Big Q, Pops Q. We're going to holler at you on the next one. Much love. Peace. And who that to you?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootetdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.